Hey guys, welcome back. Today, since my gun show video was so popular, I thought I would do a video on one of my guns I was working on recently, which was this one. This is my Glock 17 Gen 4. I put a new red dot on it, and I borrowed this from a friend just to see how mine would look. But it's a 1/2 inch by 28 suppressor thread. Come on, and it threads on there long. But anyway, I put a threaded barrel on mine, and I have yet to select what I'm going to put on it. So I'll have to order that, go through the tax stamp, and all the fun stuff that goes along with having a suppressor. So basically, I put a new threaded. The hell do you call this thing? Threaded. What the fuck was this? Barrel. So anyway, I put a brain fart. I put a threaded barrel on there, and then I put the suppressor on there, and I sent a picture to my son. And I remembered that my daughter recently just got a new Glock 17 from her boyfriend. Hers is a Gen 5, but what we're going to do today will work on almost all Glocks, 43, 9s, or not 9, 17s, 19s, all that good stuff. The difference between mine and hers with Gen 4 that I can see, and I've taken it apart already, is that you do have the engravings on the front end. There is one additional pin in the Gen 4 that the Gen 5 does not have. It just has the single pin right there, whereas the Gen 4 has the 2 pins. But basically everything else is identical. I mean, there's really no difference in them. So I bought this one, bought the same one. You can get this on Amazon, I believe, for $140 roughly, something around that ballpark. It is a nice little red dot. Like I said, I've got mine installed on mine. I also have the 9mm bullet that is a laser sight. So we loaded that in, and I just did it from across the room. So probably, I don't know, 40 or 50 feet. These are not made for long range, obviously. But it is a nice little red dot. I mean, for 140 bucks, there are nicer ones out there, obviously. This does come with the rail, so that if you had a longer range pistol, like some type of, I can't even think today, you can mount that on top. So you'd be able to do that if you've got the Picatinny rail, I think you call it. Disclaimer, I'm not a real big gun enthusiast. I don't get into the lingo. I just like my guns. I like my freedom. I like my America. And like I said in a previous video, I've got the Glock 17. I've got a Ruger LC9 with a laser sight on it, and I have a Ruger LCP, which is a 380 auto. That's my little concealed carry weapon. This one's for the house. The LC9 is for my car, and then the LCP is for my person. I also have a Mossberg pump shotgun, 500, Mossberg 500, I think it is, pump shotgun. It's an older one, so it doesn't have the load from below. It's basically you shove them in the tube, and you can get 7 and 1 in the chamber. So, yeah, that's a fun gun, and it's a pistol grip, so you got to have a good arm to hold on to it. Anyway, so we're gonna go through and we're gonna mount this on today, and for that we're going to need a mounting kit that you can also get on Amazon. This little piece of crap is 20 bucks. 20 bucks for this little thing. But because Glock is proprietary, you have to have this piece that comes with the little mount right there, and that will slide into this area right here. So now we have to get this off of the gun. And when I did it on mine, it didn't want to come off. It put up a serious fight So you can buy a sight removal kit on Amazon. If I see one, I'll put it in the video description. But it basically will clamp around your gun, and you kind of push a screw and it slowly pushes this thing out the side. I just took it out to the garage, took it out to the woodshed and showed it to his boss. But yeah, it is not reusable once you do that, just so you know. But we're gonna go ahead and get that done, and then I don't want to show you that because it's brutal. But basically, I just take a screwdriver, and I'm very careful, and I have a mat, and I make sure that I'm holding, and I just tap it with the screwdriver, and I tap it out one side so it goes away. And then you'll have a little rail. You can't see it here, but you'll have a little rail that slides into that location that you just removed this from, and then you will use the screws to pin it down in there. And this sits nice and I wouldn't say level, but it sits nice and comfortable right on top of the gun. So anyway, let's go get that done, and we'll take it from there. Okay, we're back. So that came off actually fairly easy, and it didn't destroy it like I did on mine. A couple notes real quick. Since I was pointing this out, the threaded barrel, you can buy that on glockstore.com. They have everything Glock. I think my barrel ran me $100, $109 for the black. They do have a gold colored one and a silver stainless steel looking one. And I think they vary in price based on what you get. But I wanted everything black, so it's all uniform. So yeah, glockstore.com. I also changed out the spring. The stock Glock spring is a 17-pound spring. I went down to a 15 to help compensate for the suppressor, so that I can use all different types of ammo and have the gun cycle without a problem. That was recommended. I looked that up, by the way. I didn't know that. I had to look that up. So anyway, just on that. And then, like I said, this is on Amazon for about 140, 130 bucks, right in there. I've gone ahead and removed the spring, so this takes off the piece that would normally mount on top of some type of pistol rifle type deal, AR-15 type. We don't need this, so we'll go ahead and leave that in the box. Give that back to my daughter. The red dot does come with a battery already in it, and they give you an extra battery as well. And then they give you a cool little Allen wrench, little baby Allen wrench, and a little baby screwdriver. So you can adjust everything on the sight once you get it all together. And I did mention the 9mm bullet, so that's the bullet there. And once we unscrew the back end and put a couple of these batteries in it, it'll shine a nice little laser light that I'll show you in a minute. We'll go ahead and sight the gun once we're done installing it. I use Loctite, so everything stays where it's put and doesn't move. And so let's get to it. So I've gone ahead and taken off, this is the D1. This will be for your Glock 17, Glock 19. You will need this if you want to mount a sight to it. And be very careful when you go to purchase these, because there are different types of mounting kits. Like this one came with this to run on your pickaninny rail or whatever you call it. Like I said, not a trained professional. But obviously you can buy the accessories, and just look down at the bottom of whatever you're looking at. And it'll tell you what guns and what style they'll fit. I mean, this is probably the cheaper, nicest one I could find, but really like the ones like the Venoms and sights like that. Those are 250, 300 bucks. I'm just not the trained professional. I don't see the need to spend all that money to get that. The downside is those sights are shake awake. So the minute you pick up your gun and shake it, red dot turns on. If you don't use it and set it down, the red dot turns off in like 3 to 5 minutes. It'll just turn itself off. My daughter came over the other night to bring me the gun, and I was showing her mine, and I turned it on to show her, and I was laying in bed like hours later, laying in bed going, did I turn that off? I had to get out of bed and go look, and the damn thing was still on. So just be wary of that. You will, that's probably why they give you 2 batteries. You will drain your battery out if you don't remember to turn it off. So note to self. Anyway, so this is pretty simple. This little piece that I just disassembled on the underside of the mount, it comes already attached in there. There's a couple of screws that come out. So this is basically just going to slide with the widest side down. And you're going to get it in there as best you can. I need my goggles. And try and make it as even as possible. And I think that a little bit more. And it's tough too, boy. So could probably move it a little tiny bit more. There, that looks pretty damn perfect, actually. Anyway, so then we can attach our mount right there with the 2 screws that come with it. Now, which ones were they? I think it was these. These already have, nope, that's not it. We want the flush screws. The flush screws don't have the Loctite, so we want to do that. A little on there. Get your magnetic screwdriver so that it'll stay on there. Get that wet. Just get going. Then use a proper size to wrench it down. And that will not go anywhere once that dries. All right. Then this basically has these nice little holes on all 4 corners you can see that mount up with the silver top. There we go. And now the trick is finding the right screw size. I know it took me about 20 minutes the first time because you get all these different screw sizes and threads. So you're not just trying to match the screw height so it's not sticking up, it goes all the way in, but you have to match the right threads as well. So we'll fast forward through this part while I fumble around with my giant thumbs. Yeah, that one was too small. These were too big, I think. All right, got them off. All right, well that was pretty easy. I got the first run. So the one they give you that comes with it, it's just a tiny bit too short. So I found the next largest one in there. And like I said, you can see that it has the Loctite already on it. So we just need to lock that on there, get it screwed in, and then make sure everything's good, and then wrench them down. Go back and forth. Don't do all of one all at once. Kind of do it equally. It's hard working with these little tiny tools. Just make sure you wrench that down good and tight. Not too tight, but there. And that Loctite will set in, is not going anywhere. So we're good there. Everything looks good. So next step would be to power up the little 9mm bullet. And I think we're good with everything on here. Let's check make sure the battery is working on this one. Yep, there we go. Got a red dot. That looks like it's going way off here. All right, so we'll have to get that sighted in here. And this thing's a pain in the butt to get into the chamber. Got to be real careful with it. There you can see. And obviously before I started all of this, I made sure the gun was empty and nothing in it. There. All right, so basically, I'm just gonna point it at the wall across the room. It's probably 30, 40 feet maybe. That's not 40 feet, it's like 30 feet. But, you know, you're in close quarters, so it looks like it needs to go to the right. So your left and right is on the side and your top and bottom is on the top, obviously. Duh. Oop, wrong way. Come on. No, that's definitely the wrong way. I don't like that little tool. I like my screwdriver. Oh, much better. That sucks getting old. You lose your sight. I'm gonna go past it. Here we go. So that's about right there. And we'll double check the top. The hell is on there? Man, that's like perfect. There we go. All right, so that's it. And just want to make sure that you hold this down for a couple seconds. It turns right off. Get our little bullet out of there. These are awesome. Considering what a couple of my guns are 9s, it's real easy to sight them. The LC9 that I have, it already has a laser sight on it, so I sighted that up as well. And I recently just ordered from Ruger a underside. They mount underneath here and they kind of round up, so I'll show you one day. Maybe we'll do another gun shooting and I'll bring those in so you can see them. Anyway, so that's that. That's it. What's nice about these is because they're mounted in so hard, you can use it. Oh, sorry, I'm jiggling the table there. You can use it as, instead of, trying to grab it with your fingers. And for women, that's great because they've got nails. They're a little bit more dainty than guys are. Guys typically use their hands for work, so we have thicker skin and these rails don't bother us. So for her, it's easy because she can just easily grab it and do it that way. So that's it. That's a pretty inexpensive upgrade for the 9. Glock 17, Glock 19, like I said, it'll work on several of them. With the Glock 43, you need a different adapter that goes on here. So, and remember, always use hollow points. Nothing says stop like hollow points. That's it. I love this. I can't wait to get my own. It's gonna be so cool. I am gonna go take this shooting. That's what we'll do. I'll bring the other guns because I'm gonna go shooting with this to see what the difference is in the noise. And I'm gonna bring my little noise meter thing, which probably won't work because I'll be at a gun range, so kind of defeats the purpose. But anyway, that's it. She doesn't want one of these. She's, she doesn't care. She just wants to take this out in the desert and shoot it and go to the gun range with her kids and shoot it. But he would probably do well. Her son just turned 12, so And this is kind of putting this together for her to help her birthday, take her out to dinner. But anyway, I digress. Her son probably be good for a Glock 22, and he's aching for a gun. Anyway, that should wrap us up. I hope you enjoyed. It's simple. Like I said, I'm not a big gunsmith. I'm not a really technical guy. I'm just your average Joe, and I enjoy having some guns and farting around with them and shooting them. So if you want to put a nice little sight on, it's cheap. Just remember to turn it off when you're done. Like my dumbass didn't. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next one.